Let's talk about a huge challenge, one that anyone managing a large facility knows inside and out. How do you completely overhaul your interior branding without hitting the brakes on the very operations that keep the place running? It's a really delicate dance for sure, but there's a brilliant high-tech solution we need to get into.
Right. I mean, think about it. Whether you're talking about a hospital, a university, or a busy corporate headquarters, these places are buzzing 24/7. So how in the world do you pull off a major graphics installation, something that totally revitalizes the space with basically zero disruption? That's the million-dollar question we're answering today.
So here's the plan. We'll start by unpacking the unique challenges you face in an active environment. Then we'll get into why the old ways of doing things, like vinyl, just don't really work anymore. We'll introduce the modern solution, and then, this is key, we'll dive into the project management that makes it all seamless. After that, we'll look at the technical edge, and finally, why it's just a smarter play for long-term maintenance.
Okay, first up, the occupied space challenge. This is so much more than just making things look good. It's really about threading a very fine needle between your big branding vision and the cold, hard, non-negotiable reality of a facility that is always in motion.
And this really lays out what you're up against. You're not just working around a schedule, you're dealing with tiny hour-by-hour windows of access. You've got strict infection control protocols. You have life safety compliance for things like exit paths that you absolutely cannot mess with. On top of that, you have security, a mix of wall surfaces, and a paper trail for everything. You're basically navigating an operational minefield. So when you stack up all those challenges, it becomes pretty clear why the old ways of doing things often just create more headaches than they solve. Let's really look at the hidden costs and, frankly, the failures of traditional graphics like vinyl.
And here's the disconnect, plain and simple. Traditional vinyl gives you seams that are just waiting to peel and bubble, right when you need a perfectly seamless, integrated look. Vinyl depends on long lead times and shipping, but today, you've got to be agile with on-site production. But the biggest point of failure? The downtime. Vinyl installations can take forever, while the modern need is for projects that get done in hours, not days.
Which, of course, brings us to the solution. And I want to be clear, this isn't just about some cool new gadget. This is about a complete system, a perfect marriage of technology and expert process that's designed from the ground up for these exact kinds of occupied spaces.
At the heart of it all is direct-to-wall printing, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A specialized printer puts a perfect, high-resolution graphic directly onto the wall. There's no glue, no vinyl panels, absolutely no seams. The ink literally becomes one with the surface, whether that surface is drywall, concrete, or even rough brick.
And here it is. This is the absolute game changer. The typical installation for an entire area? Less than 5 hours. Just let that sink in for a second. A massive hospital corridor mural can be installed completely overnight. A university mascot can get a refresh during a single staff development day. That speed is what makes zero disruption not just a goal, but a reality.
But that kind of speed doesn't just happen by magic. Not at all. It's the direct result of intense, expert-level project management. You see, the success of the project is really decided by the meticulous planning that happens way before a printer ever shows up on site. This right here is the blueprint for a flawless project. It starts with a deep dive into the wall surface itself. Then there are environmental checks for things like moisture that could affect the ink. You're mapping out every single safety route and logging every obstruction. I mean everything from a thermostat to a fire alarm pole. And maybe most critically, you're getting every single stakeholder, from facilities to security to brand, on the same page from day one. That's how you eliminate surprises.
The execution itself is then broken down into this super clear 3-phase system: before, during, and after. Every single step is confirmed and checked off, from wall prep to the final quality assurance walkthrough. It's this incredibly structured approach that turns what could be a chaotic project into a smooth, totally predictable event.
Okay, let's get into the technical details a little bit, because this is where direct-to-wall printing just leaves everything else in the dust. The advantages go way beyond just what you see on the surface. This chart just lays it all out. You go from having multiple seams that are just bound to fail to a finish that is truly seamless. You get rid of adhesives that can fail or leave a sticky residue, and you get compatibility with tons of different surfaces, not just ones that are perfectly smooth. But look at that last row, the life cycle. When it's time for a change, you just paint over it. No expensive, labor-intensive removal like you get with vinyl. That's huge. And this quote, this really captures the aesthetic difference perfectly. It's not a sticker slapped on a wall. It becomes part of the wall. The graphic feels like it was designed right into the architecture from the start, which gives it this premium, permanent quality that vinyl just can't touch. This leads us perfectly into the final piece of the puzzle, thinking about the entire life of the graphic. You know, an expert solution isn't just about a smooth installation. It's about making life easier for the facility teams who have to live with it and maintain it for years and years.
And the maintenance is just beautifully simple. You clean it with a microfiber cloth and some mild soap. You can protect high traffic areas with standard corner guards, and best of all, you're not spending your time chasing down peeling seams or trying to fix bubbles. It's just a durable, low-maintenance architectural finish, period.
And this right here, this is the ultimate long-term win, being paint-over ready. When it's time for a rebrand or a new department moves in, there is no scraping, no sanding, no drywall repair. You just prime it and paint right over it. The amount of time, money, and disruption this saves down the road is just incredible.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Your building isn't static, right? It's a living thing. It's constantly evolving. So the real question isn't just about what your walls look like today. It's whether your entire branding strategy is agile enough, durable enough, and smart enough to evolve right along with it.